Hello and welcome to Building Your LinkedIn Profile. My name is Megan Godarov. I am the Associate Director for Alumni and Community Engagement here at the Career Development Center at Mount Holyoke College. We're so pleased that you are able to join us for this webinar. We have an on-demand series that we're really excited about, and LinkedIn is one of those two videos that are the components of the larger whole. And so today we're going to talk about just the basic steps that you can take to build a really successful and really compelling LinkedIn profile. This session will last for about a half hour, and then we will also have a Q&A session, but later on developed or offered consistently throughout the semester so that you can tune in and answer your questions and actually have your questions answered by me. So without further ado, I just want to share with you what I've done here. So I've pulled up my LinkedIn profile, my LinkedIn account. And for those of you who haven't already started with a LinkedIn account, I would say that it would be great to do so now. And maybe you want to wait a little bit until after the session is over or before you continue on with the webinar. I would say pause it and go back and create a LinkedIn profile. That way you can use the site the same time that I'm showing you how to use the site. And I think it'll be easier for you to learn as you go along. So you will see here on the main screen is my feed, information about posts that I've delivered, people that have looked at my profile, interesting things about what's going on in my network, and of course, an update here, a news feed about the different people and the different that I've been following and the people that I'm already connected to that are doing things on the site. So it's a really nice central location for getting some information about the things that matter most to you and about your connections. So you'll see here the three kind of main action areas underneath your name is a chance for you to share an update. So let's say you had an update, you wanted to share an article, you wanted to talk about something professionally that was relevant and mattered to you, that's where you would do that. If you wanted to upload a photo, let's say you were in a professional area or doing something professionally that you wanted to share with your community, you could do it there. And then if you also wanted to publish a post, that is also here. A quick link to some of those main things that you can do once you're actionable and your profile is built up. There's more on this topic in the second session on LinkedIn that we offered, that's offered in this series actually, that is leveraging your connections or leveraging the LinkedIn profile and the system to make connections. So feel free to take a look at that video later. But for now, I wanted to go back to the main point of the webinar, which is building your profile. So at the top, you'll notice that I went to profile and just clicked on that. You can either click on that site or you can go right here and click on edit profile, and your profile again will pop up. So this is the place for you to really grow in your profile strength. I think it's going to take a good amount of time. I've heard from some folks that I've worked with that it can take up to almost 5 hours to sort of create this, and they didn't do it all at once necessarily, but they might have spent a little bit of time here and there. So really thinking about your investment in this site and really thinking about the benefits of it, I think that 5 hours is really nothing when it comes to being able to deliver some really great content to the professional world. So I'm going to take you through each of the components of the profile, but then kind of go back and drill down and give you some key strategies in each area after that. So again, you see up the top here, this is my background header. It's up to you what you'd like to do. Because I have a side business, I also have my logo up here, but you can choose to put a picture of something that you really love. Like if you really love to hike, you can put a mountain there. If you really want to talk or show you or you just love the ocean, you want to put a picture of the ocean there. You want to share something related to your career, something that you've done, maybe putting yourself out there in terms of a presentation that you did or something, and there's a picture of you. Again, there's not a lot of space, so you want to be really careful and cognizant of that. Some folks have done a lot with design, and Canva, C-A-N-V-A, is a really easy, user-friendly way to make some great banners that can add a little bit of pizzazz to your profile without taking too much time. The next thing that I want to mention is your headline. So right here, you have a headline, where you're located, and what your industry area is. There are plenty of options in this area, and you'll see that as you scroll over everything, an arrow pops up. So you can choose to personalize this in many ways. So I would encourage you to take some time to do that here and here. And I'll go back to the headline a little later. If you see to the left, there's a profile. You can see me. It's square on. You know what I look like. It's very professional, very relevant to the kind of work that I'm doing. But again, going down, there's prompts here that allow me to, or they're asking me to fill out other aspects of the profile that I haven't yet done, which is probably why up here at the top, I am not completely done with my circle here. I've almost completed everything, but again, this could be a deliberate step on your part. And so it's not like you have to complete everything, but the greatness or the chances of you being seen in searches are much higher when you have everything completed or most everything completed. You'll see over here who's viewed your profile. This is, again, the ways in which you are seen because of the amount of engagement you've had, or because of the posts that you've put out there, or because of your profile completeness. So I would table this for a little bit now. This is not necessarily as relevant to you as just kind of getting things completed. So the other thing I'll mention is that I deliberately put different aspects of the profile in an order for myself, because I wanted to brand myself in a certain way. And I wanted individuals to know why I did that. And I wanted to feel like there was for a greater purpose. So I love to write, and I want people to hear my advice, and I want to be able to share that out with my professional network. So I put posts here as a link that was pretty high up. You can get out to the site and look at all of my posts and follow me, and you can follow others in the same way, people that are writing about the things that you're most excited about. I would definitely encourage you to do that. But again, this is just another tool and another place where you might want to put this in your profile. A lot of people do this if they are writing. They are writing majors or English majors, or they're wanting to move into the writing field. A lot of journalists and other folks write and really publish. So it's not a requirement for everybody, but I think it can be a tool and definitely useful for folks who find it relevant. The next section is your summary section, and this can really take on a couple different forms. One is mission-based, so my goal is, my mission is, that's kind of what I have here, that I build communities that support women's professional success. So you get to connect and align with me based on my goals and based on my purpose. Sometimes it's more about your personality, so you're really trying to showcase maybe the fact that you're not as uptight as what your profession might indicate. I think sometimes people in the finance industry kind of try to show themselves as an individual beyond what they've done in the business sector, and that could really be a great strategy. I would encourage you to take a look at other people in your field and what they're doing and how they're crafting their message. There's a debate out there between if you want to have a summary that starts with I, or that uses the first person or the third person, like Megan builds or I would build. So thinking about and looking at or through other summaries and other materials that people are putting out there on LinkedIn can be really helpful. The other ways in which summaries kind of take shape is either short and sweet, or actually a little bit longer, right? They kind of use it as a bio space instead of a place to separate themselves from other materials that's out there on the web about them. So you have to make that decision too. And if you're really new to this and you don't really have an online presence, then I would say thinking about your brand and how that's going to transfer into what you're hoping to do in the future can be really, really beneficial. There's another piece too. It's really about what they call blended. So it can be a combination of any or all of those. And I think, again, that sort of speaks to the ability for people to personalize what it is that they do and want and how they want to put themselves out there. So if you have questions or thoughts or concerns about this, I encourage you to do so in our Q&A sessions next semester, or even to reach out and have a half-hour appointment with an advisor here. Our alumni team is here to help you with that, and are happy to provide support, especially to alumni up to 5 years out. So that's the summary section. You can see that I've added some media, some links, and you can do this in every one of the sections right up here. So you can add a link, you can upload a file. I do this a lot with my presentations, and you'll see down here, they're asking me to add media because I don't have anything right now. But down here, I have a good amount of media. I have a PowerPoint presentation through Prezi. I have a link to a video that I was in. I have other, especially here with my business, I have some endorsements, and I have, again, some videos where people can see me live, in action. I think it really can help to be able to get and to bring your resume, so to speak, to life beyond that piece of paper. There's a lot of debate out there whether or not a resume is really necessary, and I think that this tool allows you to kind of put that aside in a lot of ways and include all the information that you need out here on this document. So when it comes to experience, again, you'll see that I have a good amount of information at each of them. I have media, I have text, I have some recommendations. These are all sort of, I want to say optional, but I think really helpful and useful to be able to use. If you do not, then how does the employer, how does the individual that's looking at you know or have context for what you're doing? So I would really encourage you to take some time, and even if you're just dropping the information that you have in your resume into the LinkedIn profile, I would say think a little bit more through what you're already saying. And like I said before, we're happy to help you consider those phrases or the ways in which you're describing your experience. It's really key to leveraging yourself and using the keywords that are going to help you come up in searches. All the time, headhunters find people on LinkedIn and offer them positions or want to chat with them. So, if you can use the right keywords to leverage that, you'll be really successful. So the other questions that you want to ask yourself here, and this kind of goes along the same lines that I mentioned about brand, what do people really want to know about you? Like, what do you anticipate people in the field wanting to see? And also, what do you want them to know? What do you want to share? So really thinking about your brand, thinking about what you want to put out there in the world, I think those are all really important questions to ask yourself. So that's all about experience. Again, I would encourage you to look through my profile. Feel free to spend time in it and to think critically about whether or not it's something that you'd like to use or as a model. There's plenty other opportunities and plenty other profiles out there that you can search. So don't hesitate to do that as well. I want to go back up to the headline because, again, this is also really important. So there's a bunch of different options out there in terms of what you can do with your profile. Or your heading, your headline. So I choose to connect my LinkedIn profile to my Twitter and to show that there's some consistency in the way that I'm branding myself. I really want them to understand who I am in a short and sweet phrase that's not tied to any one particular position that I have. And I've seen many people do this and many people not, and it doesn't matter to me either way what you choose. I think it's really just how you made that decision about what you wanted to choose. So I wanted to say I'm an advocate for women who want to build careers that last. People get a sense of who I am, right? And then hopefully everything else that I've listed out kind of gives them that opinion or that experience. Now, maybe all the stuff that I have doesn't really scream that, doesn't scream I want to build careers that last, but I do have other experiences that they might want to ask me about. And so perhaps it's a matter of thinking through the connections of all those experiences. Or perhaps it's saying, you know what, I actually don't care about that. I want to list all my experience, but this is where I want to go. And for your career transitioners out there or your career changers out there, I want to say that it's okay to indicate that. And sometimes, especially for students or for graduate students even too, when there is an anticipated transition happening, it's okay to list like seeking opportunities, right? Because those people know that you're looking. I think for folks that are trying to keep it on the down low, so to speak, or trying not to showcase that that's actually happening, it's a little trickier. And so having a mission statement to talk about your passion, talk about your enthusiasm can be much safer in that regard. I want people to get a sense for who I am as an individual just as much as who I am as a professional, but this is really a professional site. So really thinking about what you can put out there and use the other sites if you choose to highlight some of those other aspects of who you are. The final piece that I'll say about this before I talk about another tool is LinkedIn.com allows you to, or LinkedIn allows you to personalize your link. So if you wanted to embed this link in an actual resume, then people can go back, employers can go back and look at your more robust profile on LinkedIn. So right here in this little section below your your face and below the general summary of who you are is this little tool wheel here. This is what people see in terms of your public profile. So I would encourage you, when you're making a lot of updates, to like wait a little bit before you kind of put everything out there publicly, right? Because you want to finesse it and you want to make it available when you feel like it's ready. And I think a lot of times it can produce anxiety if that's not the case. So think about that. Right here, you can make your profile visible to no one. You can make your profile visible to everyone. And then you can choose how you would go about doing that. I want to show my picture, my headline, my summary, or you know what, I really don't want to show my skills or my publications, but I want to make sure that my posts are there and my headline's there. So you can choose, pick and choose what you'd like. And then the other part that I think is great that I just mentioned is to personalize your link. So if you haven't done it already, it's probably popping up as a bunch of letters and numbers and everything else. So I just use my name. For those folks who have more neutral names or more popular names, you might have to get a little more creative, but usually an insertion of a middle initial or a middle name can really help to alleviate that stress or that tension around having your full name. So just making sure you customize it, it'll just feel much better and much easier to copy and paste. You can put it in the signature of your email. I think it's just a really great tool. So again, you save that and then you're all set there. So let's go back to the profile. I mentioned before that you can share content through the posts function. So I want to show you this section because I think it's really good to know about, and we talk about this more in the using LinkedIn to leverage your network or for networking. So here is the place where all my posts have happened. I've only written 9. I should probably write more, but I think that it's nice to have that out there, and people are engaging with my topics that I'm putting out there. So if you wanted to actually create a new one, you would go to recent activities, and then here's the section where you can create a draft. So if you feel like you really want to do that, you publish a post, and then here you are in your posts section. I think it'd be a really great tool. So I just wanted you to show you that this happens, and this is a way that you can share content out. Going back to the home section, you can also publish a post right here, and that will take you directly back to this post section that we just saw. So it all kind of goes back to the same place. And then the other thing I'll give you a preview on, which there's more detailed instruction about this in the second half of this webinar series around LinkedIn, is interests. And so groups are really important to belong to. And I'll say this because you don't want to get involved in the groups until you kind of have something that's built out in terms of a profile, because it's going to be more effective. They're going to understand why you're wanting to be a part of that group. They're going to see affiliation, they're going to see connection, and they're going to be excited about that. So these are all of my groups, and you can join up to 50. I probably have to go back through and say, yeah, this I don't need to belong to, or this I don't need to belong to. But again, you can join up to 50. So it shows professional affiliation, and that can help just continue to advance your goals and everything you've done so far in your LinkedIn profile to brand yourself in whatever professional interests you have. To do a search on really anything, you go up to this top section. So if you're searching for examples, you could click people, and so it'll only come up with people. And let's say you want to search for somebody that's in design. You click enter, and then you come up with 2 million people that have the word design in their profile somewhere. So this can really help you be like, okay, I really want to know what Patrick is putting up there. And you can see what he does. He doesn't even include a summary statement, right? He includes his experiences but doesn't describe it. And then he has a lot about skills and where he went to school. So he's using this as a placeholder, right? He's putting himself out there. But maybe he should, or at some point in time, if he's trying to leverage an opportunity or an opportunity to move forward in something else, he might end up updating his profile. So again, there's different ways in which you can be on this site, but I'm a fan of having more information out there because you'll have a greater chance of being connected with somebody or showing your purpose in your professional pursuits. So that's everything that we have for today when it comes to building your LinkedIn profile. We have a Prezi presentation that goes along with this so that you can just remember or be reminded of the different topic areas that I spoke about. There are also several handouts that I will include next to this recording that help you to think about your LinkedIn profile and how to build it. There are a lot of great resources through LinkedIn. And I'm just pulling it up right here, but again, I'll include it. This LinkedIn for Students, and I know that not all of you are students, but there are guides and videos and other things that can really help you make the most of your profile and how you put it out there into the world. So I would encourage you to take a look at these guides. The additional one is actually, it's called LinkedIn Grad Guides. And this is a video series that has really helped students and others think about how to build it out. So this is another resource. Again, there's tools and other videos for students and for the regular professionals or mid-career professionals, etc. So I look forward to chatting with you in our Q&A sessions. Again, those will be announced within the next, or they're announced on a semester basis where we choose the dates where we'll be available. So again, if you have any questions in the meantime, please feel free and don't hesitate to contact us. I will go to the website where you can see information about us. We are at mtholyoke.edu/CDC. And then feel free to give us a call or to contact us here and up here at this number. Again, thank you for taking the time to view this video today. We hope that it was very helpful in terms of building your LinkedIn profile. We look forward to chatting with you again soon regarding your interests and needs.